Willie D. Live.
You are one of the most interesting people that I don't think people really know.
They don't.
You know,
Well,
like, because you very seldom do interviews, and you kind of, you in the cut, but, you there, you see you around, you close to the action, but you be like off in the cut. Were you always like that?
I was, Willie. Always was like that. I always fall back and observe people,
Yeah.
I just like falling back and observing. Growing up in New York, I was,
Right.
you had to be observant of your surroundings. I grew up in Upper West Side Manhattan in Harlem. So you always had to have your wits about you, where you're going, how you're moving.
Right. New York City, because that is a tough place to grow up.
Yes, sir. Extremely tough.
And how do you stay focused? How do you stay focused on basketball with all of the elements that are around you that are so volatile?
It was very tough, Willie, because a lot of my friends were doughboys. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, growing up, my parents would work, not great jobs, but they were able to support us. And I saw was wearing my brother's stuff. I'm the youngest of three. I have an older brother and sister. And I didn't, I wanted to have what the doughboy. These dudes had fresh sneakers every day, change, money. And it was tempting to me. It was very tempting. It was a very difficult decision for me as a young man, not having, my parents, we were middle class, but, as a young dude, you want to be fly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You want to go to school with the fresh kicks. They had all the girls, you know what I'm saying? I'm wearing the same stuff. I can't get no action
Right.
for the girls, Will. So I chose sports, man. I want to thank my brother Clark, who's not with us. I grew up a baseball player, but he put a basketball in my hand. Once he put that basketball in my hand, Willie, you talking about love, I fell in love with that thing.
Yeah. So you started playing basketball at what age?
Like, I played in 7th grade. I was sort of a late bloomer. I
in
really
7th.
didn't start early because, like I said, baseball fan from New York, grew up a Yankee fan. But my brother was a good baller, you know what I'm saying? He was like one of the better street ballers in New York, so.
What happened to him?
He was just small. He went to a small school. He was one of them ball players in New York who was always good in the streets. You know what I'm saying? He did play college ball Division III, but he never really had expectation of making it to the league. But I did.
So who were you trying to make most proud, your parents or your brother?
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I just didn't like my situation. I wanted to do better. I wanted to be like the Doughboys, but I wanted to do it in a legal fashion. So basketball, I felt, was my avenue. And it just took off for me. In 9th grade, I got cut from the freshman team. I cried like a little baby on the train, Willie, and my sister sort of cussed me out. That was sort of one of the life-changing moments in my life. And I said, she's right. I gotta fucking, excuse me, French, I gotta fight. I gotta fight. And I never forgot that from her. She said, man up. Don't let defeat get you down. You gotta man up. You gotta man up. And coming from your sister, your older sister, that really opened my eyes. I grew 4 inches that summer. Went back
you
to
encouraged, not you.
Yeah,
ready.
man.
So
I
you
grew
feeling
4.
like
God
Superman.
just blessed me that summer. Will grew 4 inches
4
that
inches.
summer. And I came back a different player. I just came back a different player.
You hit the street, you hit the court, and
In the court, the guys didn't know who recognized me,
awe.
the attitude, the athleticism, just that growth that 1 year, Will, just really set me off on that path.
I read somewhere that you got cut from the freshman basketball team. Was that at American
No, that was at
International?
Power Memorial.
Bob Memorial.
Power.
Power Memorial.
Yeah, that was one of the famous Catholic high schools. That's where Lou Alcindor / Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went. Me and Chris Mullin, that's where Chris Mullin went until he transferred his junior year. So, I got cut.
Did y'all get a chance to play together?
We did. We played 2 years together. In the middle of his junior year, he transferred because his dad wasn't happy with the coach. So you know what happens when your best player leaves, it's opportunities for others.
Right.
And I took advantage of that. So I was one of the top 10 players coming out of New York.
But you go to high school and you try for the freshman team. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
And you get cut. How demoralizing is that? And how do you pick yourself up to reset and go back out there and try again the following year, in which you made the junior varsity team?
It was extremely difficult. Like I told you, Will, I went home crying, like a little bee. Like I told you, my sister checked me really quick. She said, "Yo, if you want to be successful in life," it wasn't my brother, it wasn't my dad, it wasn't my mom, it was my sister Nancy, who was my biggest fan. When it started going for me, she was at all my high school games. But so she knew. She's like, "Yo, man, you got to man up, man. You got to toughen up, go to the park, play every day." And like I told you, it just happened for me that summer. I grew 4 inches. I was just mad on the court. Everybody's like, "Man, what's wrong with Mario? He just has an attitude on the court." I just wanted to prove people wrong. And I always had that chip on my shoulder, Will, all the way to the NBA. As you know, I carried that chip for a long time, and that's when it started, Will, that in 9th grade in New York City at Paul Memorial getting cut. Michael Jordan, like he said, he got cut from his high school team.
Right.
Stuff like that is sort of alter your mind. You're like, you will quit or you will prove people wrong. And I had the determination in the heart of my mind I was going to prove people wrong.
At what point do you evaluate your skills and say, I think I'm good enough to make it to the NBA?
Well, like I told you, I was one of the 10 best players in New York coming out. Was a knucklehead. Well, I'm not too sorry to admit. Didn't take school seriously. I'm getting letters from Syracuse, Florida State, Oregon, but my grades wasn't correct. So people wanted me to go to junior college, sit out. I didn't love school, so I'm in a difficult position. It's 2 weeks before commitment. It's middle of August. My dad's like, "What the hell you gonna do? You better think of something. You going to school, son." So there was a Division II offer that was there waiting for me, American International College in Springfield, Massachusetts. So I had to take it. So, made the best of the situation. Wasn't happy, but made the best out of that situation. 3 times All-American, 3-time Player of the Year. I did everything. Did everything at that school.
So I'm trying to figure this out. Like, how is it that you had such disdain for school, but you speak multiple languages? You've lived all over the world, basically. Like, you played all over the world. You played at how many? You played for 7, 8 teams before you got to the Rockets? How many teams?
Well, just 2. It was Golden State and international, a bunch. I was Argentina, Ireland, Portugal,
NBA,
USBL. You're right, Willie. At least 7, 8 leagues.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And then you get drafted. Well, first of all, you get drafted in 1985.
Yes.
You got drafted.
7th round, Luke.
7th round.
Now they only have 2 rounds now.
What was that? 109th pick.
I was the 160th. It was 162 picks. Well, I was the 160th pick.
Okay. So you get drafted, and Milwaukee Bucks, right?
Yes.
So you are thinking, okay, I'm going to be a Buck. At this point, are you tripping on who drafted you? You just want to get in? Or?
Was tripping, Will, because I was in the parks of New York just chilling. I go to a small Division II school. I did my work. Never thought I was going to get drafted. I'm just hanging out with my boys in the park across the street from my apartment, Upper West Side, Manhattan. My mom excited. Well, she come to the park. "Oh, sweetheart, you've been drafted. You've been drafted." I'm like, "Really? Who drafted me?" She said, "Milwaukee." I'm like, "Wow." She said, "The 160th pick."
Yeah.
I said, "How many picks were there, Mom?" She said, 162.
Wow.
Second to the last, Will.